If it wasn't the ocean, wasn't the breezes, wasn't the white sand, there might be no need. If I could sleep through the cold nights, if I could breathe and eat right, if I had worked all summer, maybe I wouldn't feel so humble. Oh, you.
For 7 years. We're doing this in 1982, November, if you want to be exact. And like I've said many times, being on the inside is an extra pleasure, and familiarity does not breed contempt, it breeds awe and further appreciation of my boss's skills. So he's agreed to fit us in with some visiting time here in his studio in Palm Springs. And at this time I'd like to introduce to the viewing audience my friend and employer, Milton Knuth.
Who's almost awake.
It's a Sunday morning and
Mike and Richard, welcome to These Days.
oh, thanks.
Thank you very much.
Now, take us back to those early days. I'm going to start with you, Richard. How did the idea for a comic book convention come about?
Well, actually, it wasn't my idea. It was the idea of a man named Sheldon Eldorf. He was an East Coast resident who happened to be here in the summer of 1969 because he helped his parents move here from Detroit. He was running short of money at the time, and I was a mail order dealer buying and selling comic books. And he got a hold of me and told me that he'd like to sell me some comic books, and could I come and take a look at them. And it was during that initial visit that he talked to me about how when he was living on the East Coast, he'd been involved in these comic book conventions, wondered if we had anything like that going out here. I told him we did not. He wondered if there were any clubs in town that dealt with comic books. I told him I didn't know of any. He asked if there were any stores in town that sold used comic books. I could only tell him of one, Lanning's Bookstore down on Broadway, which had coverless comics for sale. And so at that point he said, boy, he says, you know, I would really like to start another comic book convention. And he says, I'd like to do it here in San Diego. But he says, I don't know anybody. I'm just out here living with staying with my family right now. And I don't have a car.
Right.
But he says, I was wondering, you seem like a pleasant young man, a businessman. You've got a car, you've got some income coming in, you've got some ambition. Would you be willing to help me do this? And I told him, you know, sure, I'd take a look at it. I mean, I already had a lot of things going. I was a high school student. I had my own mail order business. I had a lot of family here. I mean, my life wasn't dull, but I said, sure.
I'll give it a try.
This is the panel of endless murmuring, remembering what we were doing back when we were teenagers with Ken Kruger. Some of us were teenagers. Ken Kruger grabbed us up and forced us to work with slave wage days. He paid us nothing, but we had a great time. This is the panel to celebrate Ken Kruger, who was, in a sense, at least one half of the inspiration of the foundation of Comic-Con. There were really two groups, and we'll get into this detail now. Sheldorf got one group going. Mike can talk about that. We're going to work our way through the history of those early days and celebrate Ken's. Of course, Ken was not just the founder of Comic-Con. He was a publisher. He was a bookseller. He hit all these different areas. He's part of distribution chains. He's part of the history of publishing too. He published some of my early work. Who else got published by him early on here? John. Scott. Yeah, we would all hang together at Ken's store, and he would do things like hand out pulp artwork